Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Five seconds. Some people have talked about a big bilingual state, and for my part, I welcome it. I do not mind if Bombay is a city state. I do not mind if any chunk territory were to go from one side to the other. Maybe there is no sense of provincialism in me. I regard economic and geographical factors as more important, but the thing that is really important is how linguistic minorities are to be treated. Boundaries are bound to overlap wherever you might draw them. There are bound to be bilingual and perhaps trilingual areas. How then are linguistic minorities to be treated? The House will remember that in the Commission's report, there is a special reference in the concluding chapters to certain measures, certain protections, certain precautions, certain assurances, certain statutory provisions in regard to the linguistic minorities. I am anxious that these should be implemented. Any complaint that people speaking a certain language have not been given protection because they are in a minority must be removed altogether from India, and removed not merely by pious protestation but by active and precise instructions to that effect. All the 14 languages mentioned in our constitution are our national languages, not Hindi only. We have said that Hindi not because of any linguistic superiority but because it is spread over a larger area, and for other reasons should be an all India language. It should for official purposes become an all India language gradually after a certain period. But all the 14 are national languages. We want to encourage them. The attitude that we can encourage one language by crushing others is completely wrong from the literary or the linguistic point of view. I am convinced that the development of any language in India leads to the development of others. I feel that any kind of application, letter or petition that is presented to courts can be done in any of the 14 languages of India, and no court should reject it. If that is so about every language in India, it should be so especially in regard to the actual language spoken in a certain area. They should be given official position in that area in applications and other matters. After all, government issues notices so that they may be understood not with the intention of encouraging or discouraging a language. A notice misunderstood is useless. It is of the utmost importance that in building the future we should develop an all India outlook. The provincial outlook is not going to pay the province, much less India. I may come from Uttar Pradesh, my ancestors might have come from Kashmir, but I consider myself an Indian. I feel that I have inherited every great deed and tradition of India from Cape Comorin to the Himalayas. Sometimes comparisons are made among people of the various provinces. The people of one province are supposed to be brave, yet others are believed to be businessmen, and some others to be entrepreneurs, and so on. All this thinking is unfortunately the reflex of the caste system, a ban and curse to this country. Which province or state is there in India which does not have a proud tradition of its own? Go to the south, to Tamil Nadu. They have a great language and great traditions, military and the rest. Go the Andhra and they will tell you about the famous Andhra empires of old. I inherit all this legacy. Do you think that I can confine myself to the city of Allahabad, although it is an ancient city because I was born at Allahabad? I claim to have a right to the glory of every other part of India. Everybody knows the vital part Maharashtra has played in India's history, in military achievement, in scholarship, in literature, and finally in the struggle for freedom. The Maharashtrians or Gujaratis or the Tamilians do not require protection. They are big enough. The people who do require protection are our border people. Geography has made India what it is, with the Himalayas and the seas protecting it. Whatever internal divisions and dissensions and conflicts and we have had in India in the past few thousands of years, the concept of India has remained. The concept of India, Bharat or Hindustan, has remained and has kept us mentally together. Such a concept did not perhaps matter so much in the old days, but the concept of unity does matter today, when we must be integrated not only politically but emotionally and intellectually. It is painful how in the last few months we have displayed not to ourselves alone but to the world that we are not integrated in our minds and hearts. Even if it is considered that the government of India has committed a mistake, it will take time to change matters. You can, of course, change the government of India. You can change the decisions, but remember above all that we have to preserve India uninjured in any manner for the future generations.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.